this frame, there's a bunch of them sitting right over there in the corner. They're available to you. This is your home. The illustration homeroom is your home. So come back here and work anytime. Just clean up after yourself. Okay, these are Stabilo woody crayons. They're for little kids. They're like, they're like, they're basically like big thick crayons. But the reason they work for screen printing is because they're water-based.
Okay.
So this is just a regular. I think it's actually meant for printing. This mesh is meant for printing fabric, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I'm going to do a 2-color print today. Here's how I might have there's somebody else has printed something on here. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do this. Let's do a 2-color print. Color 1 is going to be the shadows in the face. Color 2 will be the black line to define the whole thing. So same way we work with Riso, right? 2 colors. So I'm just going to start messing around. You can go kind of light with the crayon and you'll get a light mark.
You're saying the cat image doesn't matter?
Mm-mm.
It's not going to print?
Yeah, it's not going to print. I'm going to go as quickly as I can here. So really, I really don't want to keep you guys here all day, but it's going to take a minute. So just tuck in.
Well, those cards are awesome.
Right? They're so fun to work with.
Chunkers.
They're so fun to work with. Like I've definitely sat down and done full drawings because they mix really well too. Like they're kind of creamy. Because they're mostly pigment.
Say how it appears on the paper looks kind of like oil pastel.
Pastel, yeah. Totally.
What else would look? Karen Dash would also work. Right. Anything that's water soluble.
Can you explain why you're making the face so good? Like, you're just drawing this. You're not using that image to do it. I see.
Yeah, I'm just using his as a
Got it.
reference, but I'm not trying to be exact. I'm just just generally where the shapes in the face are, and just going for where are the shadows, right? Where's the darker shapes? And not trying to be super exact, really. You could probably get more exact, but one of the limitations of this is the size of the line. You can't get super fine details with a crayon with this. You just can't. So that's part of the beauty of it. The limitation is built into the process. You really can't. You can't work. You can't work any other way. I tried. I tried to It comes with one of these little sharpeners, like this. It just is. Anyway, so let's let that be. Maybe I'll throw some red in. Might as well. Okay. Cool. Maybe wait. I can't stop. Okay, there's our first. This is going to be our first print. Right? Color number 1. This stuff is Speedball transparent base. So this is screen printing ink without the pigment. It's just the base. So it looks like glue. It looks just like a loop. It's acrylic. It's just like an acrylic. I put this down only because I didn't want to draw right on here. And if we were really screen printing, if you take a screen printing class next semester, which I totally think you should all do because it's so fun. Thomas Wojak, who teaches screen printing, will give you all kinds of direction that I'm not giving you right now. I think you can go as loose and sloppy as you want with this because we're not trying to do fine art printing necessarily. We're making a fun thing. I put just a bead of ink. You don't need a ton. That's almost too much, in fact. So there's that. This thing is called a squeegee. It's got my name on it. I love this thing. You want to keep it sharp. When you get your squeegee, make sure the edge doesn't get dinged up. Okay? Just like don't get anything sharp close to it. It's got paint on it. The ink will dry on this, and so wash it after you use it, because if you don't, it'll fuck it up. You'll never get it back. Okay, so one thing I'm going to teach you about screen printing that is true for all screen printing, no matter how you're doing it, is this angle. You want to hold your squeegee at a 45-degree angle, right? Not that, not this, this. Okay. And you want to, so with this process, I'm just going to take it, I'm going to grab all the base and just drag it across lightly. And just kind of like let it sit for a second to let the all the pigment kind of get loose and release from the screen. This is like a polyester mesh, right? Okay, then when you're ready to print, and I'll let you all print one when we get to the black. Hold the squeegee at your 45-degree angle, 2 hands, and you want to press down and feel the board underneath your squeegee, okay? And you want to feel the board all the way from here, all the way back down to here. Okay, so breathe in, breathe out. And I'm applying quite a bit of pressure. And you can see the ink is kind of coming up with the,
Oh, sweet.
right? Let's do another one.
And you're holding it up, Michael. You're trying not to let it hit the board under it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You want to make sure you don't print on the board. Print again. And because I think that's, it's because it's getting all smeary, I think that's even more beautiful. Like the mistakes are what make it cool. Like you don't know what you're gonna get, like this little red splotch right there. Just go with it. This is what Nanto Bania would call schmo-tech. Just use whatever you have in your studio, Use whatever you have sitting around. Don't be too concerned with the final product. Just see what you get. These are fun because they're called ghosts. Right? So the more you print, the less ink there is on screen, the lighter the thing is. So in mono printing, it's called ghosts. This is handy, like just a kitchen spatula to have around. It's kind of gross, but we're just gonna go with it. I barely have an image on there at all, but sometimes the mistakes are way more beautiful than
Whoa.
right?
Oh, yeah, I love that
It's
so
all
much.
usable. Okay, so there's that. That's color number 1. Or past number 1, I should say. There's lots of colors on it. Okay, so we can press pause in the video. As a guide, although it's kind of wet, so you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna go. Just go. We're going live. Maybe this guy because it's kind of dryish, right? So just give you an indication of like where the ear is, where the hairline is. Usually I will do a pencil sketch first and use that as my guide. So when I do my second color, my third color, I know I'm gonna, if I need registration, I know where this print happened. So when I print this, it'll kind of be registered. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. A pencil sketch.
You put this,
Or you could use the
put
photo.
the sketch under and then sketch
Exactly.
the sketch on there. Okay, yeah.
You could use your photograph as your guide.
Right.
And just draw on top of that. Use that as your guide. So you know that after you've done your first print, the second one's going to be in the same neighborhood, right? In the same universe. Okay, so we're doing it live. I'm not a drafts person. But I love to draw. So I never did the atelier, like actual drawing. I did plenty of art drawing classes, but I'm very, very self-taught, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's why. And I really admire people who can render things really carefully, really exactly, but that's never been me because I'm not patient enough.
That's how you make a book on patience.
Nice.
Good call. Good callback. That was a good call.
They
You
knew
know
from
what?
a young age.
Oh, now I need to go do some journaling. Because now it's all
It's
too
true.
it's all
It's
too
true.
it's all too clear.
We're not paying for therapy when you can buy a journal for $7. Or find one on the street, as Michael does.
Right. Anyway. So the drawing is not going to look exact.
There's a little bit weird.
Right? Let's change that. Thank you. Also, his little mustache. So that's a problem. Right? Not intentional, but it showed up anyway. All right. So let's say that's our drawing. Of course, I can never let this stuff just be. I just love that you can do shadow. Oh, we're gonna use some pencil. Let's use some pencil. So and see what kind of marks that gets us. Use edge. Whatever. Just kind of, be fearless. All right. All right, that's gonna work out. Let's use you first. And it's still, I actually should have brought a hairdryer with me because this is still really wet. But let's just see what happens. So here's how I can kind of register, just matching the lips up to the lips. Oh, I also drew this upside down, so this isn't gonna match up at all. Oh well.
What was drawn upside down?
See how I'm looking at the registration. It's just not gonna match up because this screen is different than that screen. Normally I'm working on one screen, so the edges are the same. Whatever.
It's a different size.
It's a different size. The tape's a different size. The drawing's in a different place. I fucked it all the way up. So let's just go with it.
I get the gist.
Yeah.
Remember, embracing the imperfection.
Exactly.
Happy accidents.
Exactly. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's like a scare house. Don't need very much. I think last time I think I used too much. So, okay. Make sure your squeegee and your screen are nice and dry. This is going to be rough, guys. Let it soak through a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's dark. That's cool.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
this is going to be so dark that it's going to destroy my work. So I'm going to scrape this ink off into the trash. I learned this the hard way. See how much ink is on here right now? If I print with that, it's gonna destroy this. So let's start again. There's way too much black. Fine. They don't match up at all. You get the
Yeah, it
point.
looks so cool.
You get the point. As I get towards like the third, fourth print with the monoprint, I tend to print more than once. Meaning I tend to do more than one pull-up. You know, because I want to make sure that the marks are going to show up. Oh, thank you. Now, if I were doing this for an actual thing, an actual print, that might be my favorite one. If I were doing this for an actual job, I would make sure that the screens were the same size and that like I used a pencil sketch as my base so that when I drew the details and then the black line is my second print. Hey, this is Owen, everybody. Owen Smith, amazing illustrator, chair of the illustration department. If I were doing this for a real thing, I would make sure that I was working from a sketch here so that my initial print with the red and blue lined up with the black one. Does that make sense? This way I like did the red to blue really big, and then the black line drawing doesn't match up at all, but that's okay. It's still a nice drawing, I think. So that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out.